Up and joining us from Roosevelt Island. So, Brian, thanks for taking a minute. And let me put the question to you. I don't know if you saw earlier, but Lincoln Chafee, who's going to be one of Hillary Clinton's opponents in the Democratic primaries, was on, and he said, look, she should take a position on the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He says, I'm for it. What's her view? Bernie Sanders says, I'm against it. She should take a position. So what is the position?
So here's what you're going to hear from Hillary Clinton today. She's going to lay out a bold, progressive agenda, I think, that mentions a whole range of economic issues that are going to be important to everyday Americans and their families. She'll name-check a series of issues, including college affordability, wage growth, paid leave, early childhood education. And in the coming weeks and months, over the course of the summer and into the fall, you're going to hear her expand on those issues and lay out some really bold, progressive, specific approaches on those issues. In the course of doing so, we think that she'll be identified by voters in the Democratic primary, but also in a potential general election as the clear choice for who's on your side, who will fight for you, who will lift up middle-class families so they can not just get ahead but stay ahead.
Well, so it sounds like you guys don't want to go anywhere near this question of the TPP, though. And I understand in this speech today, this is a sort of a long-planned thing, but it is coinciding with this major development in Washington, D.C. And as I say, her opponents are out there saying, what's her position on it? And what is the answer to that?
Well, Steve, what she has said, and she's been very clear about this, is she wants to see the final language of the underlying TPP agreement. She's laid out some tests that she would apply once there's a finalized language to look at. She said that, number one, she wants to make sure that it's going to protect American workers. Number two, she wants to make sure it protects our national security. She cares about other issues related to this, including China currency manipulation. But she wants to see the finalized language. The issues that are being debated right now in Congress are related but separate issues dealing with fast-track authority for the president, trade adjustment assistance for workers. There's going to be a procedural back and forth here between the Senate and the House. She's focused on the underlying agreement, which we haven't seen yet. That final language is still outstanding.
How much pressure, bring the panel back in here, EJ, Michael, how much pressure do you think there is going to be on Hillary Clinton? In a way, as Brian's just saying there are a lot of moving parts here, so politically maybe that there is a little bit of wiggle room here not to come down as definitively as Sanders and Chafee have.
I think for progressives, they want to know where she stands. I mean, I think if the other candidates in the battle have declared at least a position or a sense of where they would go as president on this issue, Hillary's not going to be able to Jones' point, skirt one of the big issues that is roiling within the Democratic Party. This is not just about a national discussion. This is an internal discussion between progressives and others within the Democratic Party. And if she wants to assume leadership of that party as its nominee, she's going to have to declare at some point, there may not be today, and I agree with Joan on that one, but at some point in the next succeeding days, I think her campaign at least going to have to speak to the underlying issue. You don't need to see the bill to let me know where you stand on the idea of what this bill is about.
You know, I remember the 1992 campaign when the issue was NAFTA, and Bill Clinton didn't really make his position 100% clear until a couple of weeks before the election. And it was a funny speech where he sort of endorsed the idea of NAFTA and then said a lot of critical things about NAFTA. This is an issue that, for Democrats, really splits the party. And Hillary Clinton wants to be the person who stands over the party, uniting its various wings. But you can bet that, as you saw today, Lincoln Chafee from one side, Bernie Sanders from the other side, Martin O'Malley presumably, will all be at her saying she's fudging this issue. So I think she may get pressure. She may, in order to respond to this, have to be somewhat clearer earlier than she might like.
You'll see, yeah, we'll see. But as that vote in the House showed yesterday, you're right. I mean, this is one of those rare issues right now where you see the story's not the Republican infighting, the story is the Democratic infighting. Anyway, Brian Found from the Clinton campaign, appreciate you taking a few minutes and joining us on a busy day.